Hey, what's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. We're streaming early. It's not 9:30 yet. Don't worry. You're not getting through your Tuesday evening. However, we have some really nasty thunderstorms that we're tracking. We had an earlier severe thunderstorm warning for Volusia County while we were on the air. Uh, then we came to the stream room as soon as we cleared the television side of the broadcast. Now we're streaming live on News 6 Plus and on the News 6 YouTube page. Do me a favor, if you're watching on YouTube, post in the comments where you're tuning in from. If you're watching on News 6 Plus and you want to comment, a lot of times people dial up the YouTube feed on their phone so you can put your comments in if you have any questions or things like that. Right now, we're taking a live look in Maitland above my head, also in Daytona Beach in that little box. The tropical loop is over there, but that's irrelevant right now. The looping radar is just below me in case we have some discrepancies on if I'm tracking a different cell, so you can still keep things online and just view it if you have it on the big screen for sure. We have a bunch of boxes. I want to start tonight. We had a really nasty thunderstorm just roll over the station. A special weather statement is out for it. There's not a warning, but it looks wild out there. If you're watching in Winter Park in Maitland, we're about to probably lose the sky cam. You see the heavy rain moving just down the street from where the sky cam is right now. Really nasty stuff in downtown Orlando. Let me see if I can bring up the downtown Orlando Skycam full real quick. I'm going to change my sources. So a lot of this stuff we do alongside you guys. We do it together. So a lot of it's just kind of impromptu. So we're going to bounce around some Skycams tonight. Let's take a look at there we go. Let's see, input 2. I need to change this to the Orlando camera if it's going to change. That's the port cam's looking much better there. I think the Orlando camera is down. Of course it is. And that's where we have all that, because we're going to keep it on that loop for right now. But what I wanted to say is we have some very heavy rain moving through Orlando, Winter Park, Maitland, Altamont Springs, through Lockhart. This is going to be right smack dab in the middle now of Orange County. Again, not a severe thunderstorm, although it's got to be close because, I mean, this thing just came through and it had some pretty nasty winds across the board. Paige P, what's going on? South Daytona just pinned a wild photo. I will have to take that out. And she brings up a good point that if you do catch a weather photo, click orlando.com/pins or download the free News 6 weather app, and you can upload your pins right to pin it, as we call it. That's kind of like the News 6 Instagram, where we have a nice following there of a bunch of you guys sending us pictures from out in the field. So that is critically helpful. You see the lightning going on in Maitland right now. The dark clouds over Daytona Beach. Again, let's move into South Daytona, where we have the lightning now, super heavy rain over the Speedway area. The wind has been strong. Also, the land through Lake Helen. Right now, Casadega getting the very heavy rain, lots of cloud to ground lightning with these storms as well. So that's the other thing that we're going to be watching for the evening. Let's see, new severe thunderstorm warning just coming out for Seminole County and in Orange County. So I think this is the cell that we were just talking about. And like clockwork, there it is. So again, severe thunderstorm warning is going to go now until 7:15. Let's put this into motion because I want to show you just kind of the movement, and it's just kind of working its way the southern Seminole, northern Orange County area right along the county line there. So we're going to revamp. Every now and then I'm going to look at my camera computer to switch out the sources here. So we have Daytona Beach fired up there, and we have um Maitland above my head. What I'm going to do, I'm going to load up a different stream so that we can pull in our watches and warnings. So things are going to go blank. I'm going to take this radar full. We're still going to be talking here. What this is going to do, it's going to loop through Central Florida, but I'm going to we're going to go into storm mode tonight where we can pull in storm reports and deal with the warnings across Central Florida. So just bear with me. I'm going to try to walk and chew gum for a short amount of time as I load this up, and it'll take me just 1 second to get that going. Then we're going to go back full screen. We're also going to have some airport delays on here because if anybody's trying to leave the Central Florida area or pick up friends or family from the airport, you guys know Orlando this time of the night, this time of the year, it's sometimes difficult. Give me 1 second. I'm just doing math in my head. 40, that is going to be a 60-minute loop. Just give me 2 seconds. Apologies for the delay. If you are just tuning in, again, post in the comments where you're tuning in from and just give me 1 second, and we're going to track these with you in just about 30 seconds. Alrighty, so we are back. And again, if you are just joining us, we have a severe thunderstorm warning now. This is going to go until 7:15. This does include Winter Park. We are getting smacked around tonight through a lot of Orange County. This came through Pine Hills. This came through the Orlando metro area. The wind gusts were at least 50 miles an hour as it came on through Winter Park, Eatonville, Maitland. We have the live look in Maitland tonight. Altamont Springs, Castleberry, we are officially in that warning. This goes up into Winter Springs in Longdale, San Lando Springs. We are included in this. Also in University Park, Union Park, Azalea Park. And you might be wondering, why the heck did I get these bells and whistles going off on the phone? There's nothing happening. That is about to change. And as I continue to loop this, I'm going to pull up, and you can see if you're watching in the Daytona Beach cam, the darker skies are also filling in. I'm going to change the Maitland camera. I'm going to see if I can get a little closer. So I'm going to switch in some cameras. And again, let me know what you're seeing out there. If you're just tuning in on YouTube or on News 6 Plus and want to dial up the YouTube chat on your phone, please do so. Let me know where you're tuning in from for one. And I would love to see your storm reports, what's actually happening there, especially if I have anybody tuning in from Volusia County or Seminole County or Orange County. That's right now where we have the most wild storms. We have a couple hanging out in Brevard. Those are itty bitty. But the two big ones here, the one severe and then the one just below severe levels, this one's going to be sliding through Port Orange. And this is actually beefing up here. So I would not be surprised if we do get another warning in Volusia County. Yeah, there's a little bit of spin on that guy. Let me see if the Weather Service is thinking about issuing a warning on that, because to me it's a little concerning. We talked about the one kind of approaching severe levels in Orange County, and then they pulled the trigger right around Lake Helen, Casadega area. I'm watching that closely for you. Let's see here. On the velocity scan, it's like a little bit of broad rotation there. Let me back this up. We have the sea breeze coming in. I never like when the West Coast sea breeze is dominant. And the reason being because it pins the East Coast sea breeze close to the coast. And what happens is when you have winds coming out of the west, once the sea breeze closes in over there, you keep winds out of the surface, off the surface, at the surface, if I can talk tonight, out of the south and east. And as we saw in Osceola County, that's enough for a quick spin up tornado. And that's always something that we're on guard for when the West Coast sea breeze is dominant for any kind that. Hey, Matthew, thank you a ton for subscribing. Again, when the weather gets wild like this, when there's storms around, we often do these live streams. I'm going to try to dial up the comments. We took a power hit a little bit ago, so that's why I'm a little discombobulated. I had everything set up, and then we took a power hit, and then the generator popped on. Of course, it was just a little bit too late, so that's why I'm a little discombobulated with getting all the stuff. But we're almost so back, and to get comments and stuff pulled over. So I'm loading that up as we speak because I want to know where you guys are tuning in from and what you are seeing out there across Central Florida. Okay. All right. There we go. And it's not showing the name. So technology is not playing well with me tonight. And you can thank the weather for that. All right. If you're just joining us, we have a live look in Maitland. I'm going to change some of the cameras here, get different camera views. See if I can pull up UCF Campus Cam. That's showing dark tonight. This is going to be winter. Okay, looks like we just maybe, let's see. Hey, DSI, where were you at, my friend? Commenting, he says, I want to say I'm 90% sure that I saw a funnel cloud on my way home. We can go inspect that. Certainly, there's been a little bit of broad rotation within these cells tonight. The main threat is going to be damaging wind gusts. All right, a lot of thunder in Oviedo. I'm 2 miles away from UCF. No rain yet. So let's dial in here. There we go. And this is the thunder that you're hearing here. Okay, Fern Park. I'll check up on that in just 1 second. I want to see if I can get another camera view. I think the best one right now under this severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in Maitland, where you see the heavy rain coming down. We're also watching in Daytona Beach for storms to move in. We'll get up to Volusia County in just 1 second. Oh, sweet. DSI. If you have that, that would be awesome. I don't know if you have the News 6 weather app or not, DSI. And this goes for everybody watching. This is not a sales pitch, I promise. But this is the best way to get pictures to us. I'll dial it up myself. If you have the News 6 weather app, not only can you get alerts and lightning detection and all that stuff on there, but we also have this section called Pin It. And I like to call it, it's like the News 6 Instagram. Let me just make sure that I am live on the News 6 weather app. We're supposed to be, but it is dark. Let me just tell the web team to make sure, because we pushed it out. Lots of rain in South Daytona, light thundering. Thank you for that report. All right, we got somebody from Seminole here. I would recommend getting the app. And here's why. This is what I was going to show you before I had the squirrel moment. That little section called Pin It, that's kind of like what I like to call our News 6 Instagram. A lot of cool pictures come in on there of storm clouds, pets, things like that. It's the best way to get pictures to us. We have an interface where I can show them on the map on where it was taken, so it's super helpful to us. And there goes Daytona Beach being taken over by that heavy rainfall that we just got. Just got the report. Winds are rough in South Daytona. I'm surprised there's not a warning on this, just because there's a lot of dry air in the mid levels of the atmosphere. And this is just like what happened last night. I mean, we just went through at the station just north of Orlando some crazy winds. I want to take a look at what's going on here in Lake Helen. Okay, just some broad rotation. Nothing too concerning at this point. But the strong winds are there. South Daytona, they're in the green there, the strong winds. And again, this is going to underestimate what's actually going on. The radar estimated winds, but a ton of stuff. So anyway, as I was saying, if you have any pictures of this weather, if you're in the Central Florida area and want to get the best weather coverage, of course, the News 6 weather app, it is free. Just search in your app store. But you can also what we call pin your pictures so that I can show them on TV and bring them over and show them on the live broadcast. So do that there. DSI, did you submit it through Pin It? Because I'm I'm going to dial up that interface right now. Hey, Kim, how's it going? Good to see you for the early live coverage tonight. Again, really nasty thunderstorms out here. We do have an active severe thunderstorm warning, so anybody in Altamont Springs, in Maitland tonight, Winter Park, if you're watching from Apopka or Ocoee, the dark clouds are just to your east, so you're missing this just by a little bit. Here's kind of the motion of the thunderstorms. And Oviedo, we have a developing cell here. Again, I would not be surprised if all of these get warned. This growing and blossoming thunderstorm as it slides out of Oviedo, kind of splitting the difference between two nasty thunderstorms. These are lifting up and out. And then watching this cell around Lake Helen, this one's kind of pushing down. So kind of erratic storm motion again tonight, and you never like that because when that's how we got that tornado, that brief tornado last evening in Osceola County. We had intersecting boundaries, as we call them, and when you have the chaotic storm motion like this, that can lead to more of that. Not saying we're going to get one tonight, but it's in the same kind of deal that Ding was. Awesome. Okay. Palm Coast, not forgetting about you. Thank you, Kim, for that report. We were hanging out a lot tonight in Flagler County. If you guys tuned in during the news from 4 to 6:30 tonight, we were doing a lot of hangout session in Flagler and Volusia County this evening, and then also in Southern Brevard at the tail end as we got those storms to pop there. So I was watching that closely for you. We have a new storm that's kind of popping up here to the west of Pearson or to the northwest of Pearson across the board. That is going to continue to slide on through. And again, just watching this all in real time. Let's check the direction of the winds here. Nothing looks too concerning. Maybe some broad rotation trying to pop up. Again, I always get concerned whenever the East Coast sea breeze is not the dominant one because you get the turning of the winds with height a little bit more right along. Right along. It does look like this storm here is losing a little bit of its oomph where we do have that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. Still included in Oviedo. Looks like some broad rotation around Azalea Park. Again, nothing too concerning. Look at the heavy rain now that has taken over at Daytona Beach. We could see the beach before in that shot. Maitland, we are still getting rocked tonight. New development here back down toward Dr. Phillips in Windermere. So Windermere likely going to get a little downpour. There's some lightning involved with it, but the heaviest stuff is going to move into Dr. Phillips in about 5 to 10 minutes or so. Also, Oak Ridge, Edgewood, Belle Isle. So the airport, again, likely going to be compromised here from flights coming in. Maybe even taken off because of the lightning on the runway. Kim says the lightning is crazy. I mean, yeah, these are wild storms the last couple of nights. This is back to kind of our more routine weather pattern, by the way. We've been dominated by that extreme heat where we had those more the heat that is hotter than what we deal with, like today. For today was typical Florida heat. So it's wild, it's always hot. But that was that upper echelon stuff, and that helped to keep the storms away because of the pattern that we were in. Now that pattern is broken down. We're back to the normal Florida heat and the normal storms. Nothing going on Merritt Island right now. Here's the stuff that I'm worried about. This is going to end up working its way into New Smyrna Beach. It's all kind of drifting from west to east tonight. Um, Eventually, there may be some pushback from the East Coast sea breeze that's hanging in here somewhere. Whoops, sorry about that. But a ton of rain, a ton of thunderstorms, a ton of lightning coming through these cells moving through Volusia County. All right, just doing some housekeeping stuff. All right, new update. Special weather statement now for Seminole in Volusia County, and that's this cell that we were watching here. Sanford, my gosh. Do I have anybody tuning in from Sanford tonight? Or anybody else in Seminole County? This cell is just kind of like rapid fire steroids right now and just kind of went real beefy really quick near the Dream World area through Sanford. I mean, this is right through the heart of historic Sanford right now. If I have anybody tuning in from Sanford, post in the comments. We have a request for Winter Springs tonight. Here is what's going on at Winter Springs. We're still technically into that warning for another 6 minutes. Very heavy rain, lots of thunder and lightning. For Claremont, I don't think so. I think we're done in Claremont tonight. We may have something get close, but I don't think to the intensity that we're dealing with through what's going on now through the I-4 corridor. Let me check DSI. I'm going to dial up the pins, and then I'm going to try to get that over on the map. And again, if you guys have any pictures, the best way to submit them to us, the free News 6 weather app. Again, if you don't like the push alerts, you can turn those off. So I promise this isn't a sales pitch, but if you do like tracking things, we have the best free interactive radar on the market. And there's a whole section interactive tracking the tropics as well. So it's really, really cool, and it's really convenient app. Plus, you get the forecast right from us. Oh, we got some really good pictures. Really good pictures on Pin It. So if you can download the News 6 weather app, if you have pictures, Pagey P, I saw your picture. VW Lady 47 in Deltona Lakes, and then also in Ormond Beach. If you give me a second, I'm going to try to load these guys up. I need to go to our interface. I'm going to fire these up. Okay, Orange City, Lake and S. It hadn't stopped thundering for more than 2 seconds. It's also very windy in Orange City. So that's that new cell that's kind of developing over the Seminole County, Volusia. It's kind of strung out now from Look at all the lightning over Sanford. If anybody's tuning in from Sanford tonight, I mean, we're taking it on the chin. That might be the most intense part of that cell. Also, just north of Oviedo tonight. And then Orange City. Orange City's kind of splitting the difference right now between a couple of cells. And you're getting the outflow from that storm, and you're going to get a thunderstorm pretty soon. So there you go. Within the next 10 to 20 minutes, Castleberry will take a look for you. We are still in that warning for another 4 minutes. The severe thunderstorm warning continues for another 4 minutes, and there's that heavy rain. Still tons of lightning around. Ronald Reagan Boulevard, Park Drive, Murphy Road, Sunset Drive, Oakwood Drive, North Triplet Lake Drive in Castleberry. Taking it on the chin tonight. Raiders 973. We got a couple people tuning in from Castleberry tonight. So thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening as we track these storms together. And again, if you download the free News 6 weather app, you can track these alongside me as we are streaming. And also, if you have any pictures, when you can do so safely. I wanna be clear about that. Don't go risking getting struck by lightning or anything like that to go get a picture. If you have one, when you can do so safely, please download the News 6 weather app and then submit that picture to pin it. Knuckles Edits asks, can any of these storms drop a tornado tonight like they did yesterday while that threat is low, just like what it was yesterday? The answer to that is yes. And it's just because we're now getting involved with the East Coast sea breeze pinned along the Atlantic coastline. We have different intersecting outflow boundaries now that add different directional shear to the mix, and then the West Coast sea breeze is involved. So we have shifting winds. It's not an environment for tornadoes by any means on a widespread scale. However, we can get these short-lived spin-ups like what we did yesterday in Osceola County. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we did not have it hit anything. It was on the ground, confirmed and everything. We broke into programming last night with that tornado warning, but nonetheless, awful stuff there. So we do have some nasty stuff working their way into New Smyrna if they hold together right now. And it's going to be interesting to see because it looks like that the East Coast sea breeze might be right through here, just judging by how things have kind of stalled out a little bit. So this could be, in judging by how we're getting the new development right in through here, this could be the battleground area where we get things to really flare up, and we'll see if the West Coast sea breeze has enough oomph to push that back towards the I-95 corridor. So for New Smyrna, I'm watching it for you, but it looks like the wall might be right. Whoops, sorry, I meant to grab the right through there. Let me see if the weather service is going to continue that. I keep on trying to put the pictures in, and then I keep on getting. Okay, Sir Robin. Since he's in Sanford, rain is not the hardest. Winds are picking up. Mild thunder strikes. You must be on like the northwest side of Sanford or something, because it is coming down like crazy. So I don't know if you're closer to like Seminole Boulevard on the south side of Lake Monroe, but it is going to be. I mean, if you're not getting the heavy rain, you're going to get the heavy rain because holy cow. I mean, it's coming down cats and dogs in downtown Sanford tonight. Really heavy stuff on East Lake Mary Boulevard. Shout out to the Little League team, by the way. Lake Mary, we have a little bit of let up. It's not raining as hard. Still, we have the yellow there. Again, that's going to be moderate to heavy rain, where the extreme stuff, extreme heavy rain and winds closer to Cameron City and Sanford tonight. All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire for Orange and Seminole County. So that's some good news tonight that we do have the expiration of the severe thunderstorm warning. And it's still nasty out there. It's still wild out there. I'm going to see if I can move my camera from Maitland. By the way, these cameras are courtesy of our friends at WeatherStem across Central Florida. Yeah, last night was crazy. Last night was wild. You see the lightning in Daytona Beach. Got the markers up top. We're taking a live look in Maitland and in Daytona Beach. Let's see where we can if we have a camera. All right, so this is going to be in Sanford up top. This is at Idlewild Elementary School. So let me change the tag here. This is going from Maitland to Sanford. So that's a live look in Sanford at the elementary school there. Haines City is getting cloudy. Let's take a look at Haines City to see what's going on. You might be seeing some of this stuff here developing around Lake Wales. That should continue to move probably toward the north and east. Here, by the way, you see this green line? This is the East Coast sea breeze. So Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Point Siena. This is where right in here. There's a lot of stuff. This is the John Madden illustration here. The lightning going nuts down Sanford, as we were talking about. But in this area, I would expect to see an increase in thunderstorms. So maybe as far to the west as Haines City. All right, we have a new flood advisory for Orange and Seminole County. As you might imagine, it has been raining like crazy. I don't have one in New Smyrna, but I do. The closest I have is just up the road in Ponce Inlet. And it is raining pretty crazy there in Ponce Inlet, Wilbur by the Sea area, right there. All right, welcome in Sebring. Right now, we're nice and quiet. The West Coast sea breeze is hanging out over here. East Coast is still right about in here. We may have a few thunderstorms, already a few of them trying to get going tonight. So we'll have a few scattered storms in the mix. I think the highest shot is going to be to your east, but not out of the woods for any kind of thunderstorms tonight in Sebring. All right, so talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to try to pull up some of these pictures that are coming in. And we have some great ones tonight. So again, if you guys have the News 6 weather app and you're signed up for Pin It. Okay, hold on. I wish I could bring him over. Fireman 19841. Strong storms. What storms? Way to clickbait for views. Fireman 19841. If you are a fireman, thank you for all you do, first and foremost. But number two, you have made it now to the troll of the hour. That's something that we do if you're not familiar with our live streams. That we have someone that accuses of hype or just tries to act a fool. I don't know what you're talking about, but we've had some nasty thunderstorms tonight, several severe thunderstorm warnings, and there are all the thunderstorms. So I don't know what part of Florida you may be tuning into, but I would just ask to, before you comment something like that, to please know what you're talking about before you accuse of somebody a clickbaiting, because there are some really strong thunderstorms tonight. Wouldn't you guys agree on the feed that have seen these storms tonight? Some really nasty thunderstorms with a couple of warnings that have just expired across the board. And last night there was a tornado in Osceola County. Hey Ethan, what's going on? You're likely going to have a good shot of storms when you come in 2 weeks. The daily stuff for sure. I've not looked out at the daily. I've looked at the tropical stuff 2 weeks out. And if you're interested in some of the tropical forecasts that are kind of out there, um, we're going to be back at 9:30 for our nightly show Monday through Friday. And if you're new to this channel, um, would love it if you hang out with us every Monday through Friday at 9:30. We give a flavor of the Florida forecast, what's going on across the state of Florida in hurricane season. We have a tropical segment as well. And, there's a lot of that is hype and clickbait, what's out there on the YouTube side of stuff these days when it comes to the tropical aspect of weather. The tornado in Osceola County yesterday was just northeast of St. Cloud. It was right off of Nova Road. It was basically right here. It didn't hit anything. So it was basically right where that X is last night. Thankfully, it wasn't further to the southwest in Pine Grove or New Eden. It dropped. If there was one spot to drop, right there. Didn't hit anything. All right, Thomas says in the Conway area, our screen got blown out a couple of minutes ago. Sorry to hear that. That's going to be from this cell right here. So there's the Conway area again, closer to just north of the airport. And we have tons and tons of lightning still around from Belle Isle, to Edgewood to Conway, back to Azalea Park. There's the storm again developing that's heading towards UCF. It's raining and thundering there right now, but this is going to be moving into UCF momentarily. That screen is, look at Sanford. It's getting even worse in Sanford. Hey, what's going on, Yvette? Down in downtown Orlando. You should be clearing out for a little bit of time anyway. There's one round. Round two is kind of locked and loaded. Riding up by 4 tonight from Dr. Phillips and Windermere. So this one's coming in, making a beeline back for the Orlando Metro. So just wild tonight. So we're going to get more heavy rain. So if you're susceptible to any kind of flooding, we're going to get several more inches likely in a very short amount of time. You see the lightning in Sanford. Just look at that mess. Look at all the lightning strikes. Let's turn on the lightning counter. Just in this little box here, over the last 10 minutes, let's wait till it stops. 538 strikes being detected just in the screen here that I'm showing you. It's that way on that box above my head or side of my head. Paige P, is it going to get worse in South Daytona tonight? I think your worst is over in South Daytona for sure. The rain might not be over with, but I don't think it's going to be as wild. Anchor Matt Austin sending in some weather video from Orlando. He was reporting live there through the early through the newscast this afternoon. I'm anxious to see what this looks like. need to download it first. And again, if you guys have any video or pictures, download that free News 6 weather app. Let me know in the comments if you have the News 6 weather app, especially if you're in the greater central Florida area. If you're watching from Miami or Tampa, might not behoove you to have the app because your other local station will likely have those alerts and stuff. But the News 6 weather app, it's a great tool. If you have it, you're getting lightning detection for free and all of that stuff. That's the best part about the app, and you get the forecast right from us. So all that stuff. Let's see here. Just got an email in, just going to email them back. I have to talk. Can you upload it to the News 6? See that flash? How is Altamont Springs on radar? You guys are getting lit up. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that since that thunder just woke you up from the sleep. But there it is, getting rocked tonight. The heaviest rain on the west side of town, closer to the Forest City side. San Lando Springs now, Wekiva Springs. Let's see, another flood advisory now for Flagler County. But there's the heavy stuff, and you're going to be in this for a while. South of Apopka getting clipped. The north side of Apopka, and then closer to Zellwood and to Tangerine and to Sorrento, you're looking okay tonight. It's always such a fine line. Like every time, I'm like, okay, like the guy that commented, like, what are you talking about? Strong storms. I realize it is in a relatively small area, but I mean, from about St. Augustine earlier down to eventually Kissimmee to St. Cloud, it is rocking tonight. Look at all the lightning. It's just crazy. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Good to see you again. Thank you for having the app. And that's a great point. Comment says, I have my hometown in Illinois set as one of my locations, and I'll get alerts for that area on the News 6 weather app as well. So you can set the location to your own location, to your home, to a friend's home, the family's home across the world. Well, it'd be the National Weather Service jurisdiction to the United States, but to get warnings for them and lightning detection and things like that. So all across the country, you can keep tabs on what the weather is doing elsewhere too. So it really is a good tool. And in my opinion, yes, I know I'm biased, but it's the best free weather app on the market. And it's the best way to become basically an honorary member of the News 6 weather team because you are our eyes and ears in the field when we're tracking these storms alongside you guys tonight. So you can always submit your photos. And again, that's what I'm looking for this evening. If anybody has any and wants to, if you don't have the weather app and you want a weather app, try ours out. It's also a really cool radar. All right, so in Flagler County, here we go. There's where the flood advisory is coming in. This does include Bunnell. There's another one, the new one that pops up. It's like a secondary one that they issued, and that's because of this storm here. So if you're in anywhere from Bunnell to Flagler Beach, the storm isn't all that strong. There's a lot of lightning. There's a lot of wind. And there's a lot of rain to it, but there's no, I don't think, damaging weather to it, but certainly could aggravate some flooding. Let's back the train up a little bit and let's head back down to this madhouse of thunderstorms that are rolling back into the Orlando metro area. We'll have to see if we'll take another power hit here. The generator is on at the station. See if our computer's hooked up to it. All right, so my friends in Pine Hills and Orla Vista, we have the super heavy rain coming back. Fairvilla, the Orlando Metro, taking a short break. And then we have more heavy rain coming back in. Let's see what, let's find another camera. Let's see, where should we go? I'm taking suggestions for our next live camera. I'm at the mercy of if there's a camera there in your neighborhood. We have a ton, but we may not have them everywhere. So if anybody has any requests, let's see here. Go to Ponce Inlet. It is raining pretty crazy there too. All right, so the bottom camera has gone from Daytona Beach to Ponce Inlet. Just changing the words on the banner, on the title there. So if people are just joining or don't have the volume up, Ponce Inlet. There we go. All right, so Ponce Inlet, and we have the American flag here in the foreground to give some perspective on the winds. Let's take a look at that. All right, Player FC, Sanford. Let's check up on Sanford and Longwoods. We'll take a trip up I-4 to Seminole County tonight. Here is Longwood on our trip. Should pop up. It's in there somewhere. There we go. All right, let's see. So let me stop the loop here. Longwood, moderate to heavy rain, still some lightning around. Sanford was getting it like crazy. Oviedo, it's rough in Oviedo right now. Do I have anybody tuning in from the east side of Seminole County? Tons and tons of heavy rain coming through eastern Seminole County. I mean, look at that purple core there. It might be some hail if you know where East Mitchell Hancock Road is, if you live on Alafaya Trail, Boston Cemetery Road, Alafaya Woods Boulevard, Oviedo Boulevard, East Broadway Street, King Street. We're in Oviedo now if you're just tuning in the eastern side of Seminole County. Jones Landing, we're taking it on the chin tonight. Cameron City through Geneva. And then here is Sanford. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll take a little bit of a break in Sanford. It's still going to be raining pretty steadily. However, it's not going to be as heavy in like the next 5-10 minutes or so. Apopka, we were just looking at you, and that's how close you are. Like literally down Main Street, it's kind of split. South of Apopka getting some light rain. OBT getting some, I mean, it's close. It's just, I mean, it's such a fine line tonight. And that's something we were talking about through the early shows this evening. The north side of Apopka, closer to the springs, is nice and dry. You're likely hearing the thunder, but man, we're missing all the super heavy stuff. Ponce Inlet's getting worse. I know. I'm telling. I'm with you. It's crazy. Live in Oviedo. Are you saying you're seeing hail in Oviedo? Let me know. I mean, it certainly looks like it. We'll take a closer look again. We'll put the threats on just to kind of show you. All right, and just like that, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Seminole County. Holy cow, did they just light the whole thing up? Hold on. Yeah, so there is a giant severe thunderstorm warning now that was just issued by the National Weather Service here, and this is going to be for Orange County, Florida, and Volusia County, Florida, also Seminole County, Florida. because of this nasty line of thunderstorms here. Let me take the lightning off so you can just see how. Oops, that's not the lightning. Those are the warnings. And just look how wild this line of thunderstorms is right now. Heavy rain in Metro West. Thank you for that report. Thank you for the report of hail in Altamont Springs as well. And here's where and there's a few little areas of spin in here. It's nothing crazy. The tornado threat is low. Again, like I said last night and like I said earlier today, it it was low last night. Um, every time when the East Coast sea breeze gets pinned on the eastern side, that's typically where you're going to get it in a non-tornado setup. Like the overall environment isn't conducive, but this is where we have the big winds, where you see the brighter greens toward Osceola, Geiger's Landing, Lemon Bluff. And again, radar estimates of about 50-ish miles an hour. And this is as you go from Seminole County this is the northeast nub of Seminole County into southern Volusia. So that's where you have some strong winds. And then also kind of in between University Park and Bithlo, closer to Lake Pickett tonight. That's where we have there's nothing too concerning out there in terms of the rotation. What and we were talking now, this is exactly, you can clearly see where the East Coast sea breeze is. There's the green line. And now the storms are just erupting. So St. Cloud, we're close to getting in on some thunderstorms. That's going to continue to spread right on down through the turnpike. So I'm watching that for you guys in St. Cloud. Carol says Oviedo on the park, strong storm with hail right overhead the past 10 minutes. Sounds like it's moving away. It was. Let's go back up and we'll check on that, at least the strongest part of that storm in Oviedo. And here it is. I mean, right on the money there. That purple core is where the hail would have been. That's going to slide that way. And it is collapsing, but that's also where we get the strongest winds. Downtown Oviedo, it's still getting very heavy rain, but we are going to see that lighten up in the next 5 to 15 minutes as that slides through. What's going on, East Orlando? Lee Vista here. Thanks for hopping on the stream tonight. Just watching a few areas of broad rotation. There's nothing too crazy, at least at this time. The main threat tonight, we have a lot of dry air in the atmosphere. And when you get these storms to develop, you get in an atmosphere with when there's dry air. When it rains, the rain evaporates into that drier air. When water evaporates, it cools. It's a cooling process. It becomes more dense, the air around it, than the warmer air that surrounds it, and then it falls to the ground. So anytime you have dry air in the mid levels of the atmosphere, we're concerned with those localized damaging wind gusts, like we've seen so far. At least we've had some pretty nasty wind gusts, 60-mile-per-hour report at the Orlando International Airport as those storms rolled through during that severe thunderstorm warning that we were tracking together. Let me get further up. Let's check Palm Coast again. Firing things back up in Flagler County. Look how intense that is off of Daytona Beach, off of Port Orange, Ponce Inlet. There's all the lightning and the thunder that you're hearing, Melissa, in New Smyrna Beach. The strongest cell, let me get back to the Melbourne radar. The strongest part of that is likely going to stay south of you. This is moving due east closer to Oak Hill, so some nasty weather coming if you're watching in Oak Hill and looking to the west. Same in Edgewater, same in NSB. There's a lot of nasty weather just to your west. I would not go outside. Just for reference, so far, we're not getting any lightning strikes out here, but that could change quickly. And I don't want anyone getting struck by lightning because these mean business tonight. The wind gusts are getting a little stronger. This is around the Geneva area, just east. This is closer to the Brevard County line. Yeah, so here we go. Where we have the strongest storm right now, we do have an active severe thunderstorm warning. This is closer to Pennacha and Osceola. Not Osceola County, Osceola and Seminole County. Morgan Alderman Road, if you're familiar with that area, if you live there. Maytown, Pennacha, this is an early heads up. Some of the neighborhoods are going to be impacted this, like right now, Lake Harney Road. Lucky Peter Lane, Buck Run. Again, this is in northeastern Seminole County. Let me put and this is the strongest part of this storm, by the way. So this is sliding through, basically moving due east. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. If this holds together, Scottsmore in the next 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know if you can see the marker there. So this is going to be like in the Mims, I think north of Mims, Scottsmore area in the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's the nastiest, at least portion of the nasty thunderstorms that we have. That one could be damaging. Don't have any ground truth on if it is producing damage, but it's the most concerning part of a severe thunderstorm warned line of thunderstorms. That was redundant. All right, this is what we were talking about. If you were with us about an hour ago when we started this stream, we talked about that St. Cloud was going to end up joining the party. And here we go on the east side of Lake Toho, just Earlo Bronson and points north. We're getting rocked, and this is going to continue to happen. You can tell that the storms are developing quickly because this cell does not look intense at all. Just wait. We're going to keep on checking the radar scans. However, look at all the lightning associated with it. So it's likely raining super hard. Hickory Tree Road, again, that's going to fill in. This is south of St. Cloud. How's Alafaya? We'll go back up into the Orlando metro area. East side, we're under that severe thunderstorm warning. It's not too terribly bad in Union Park right now. Azalea Park, we're looking good. I mean, it's raining, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. The worst part, though, is on the east side, University Park toward Curry Ford Road, Alafaya Trail. Going to get it on the take it on the chin. Of course, Melissa. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Get all that lightning. PGP says real weird orange sun shining in the thunderstorms in Daytona. The chance of tornadoes tonight pretty low. It's not zero with the East Coast sea breeze being pinned, but it's low. It's not like a dynamic tornado environment or anything like that. So we're not going to pop off a bunch of them. There could be a quick spin up in these when you have the intersecting sea breeze and outflow boundaries together. But um, by and large, it's not a big tornado night. In the Ocala area, you got a few thunderstorms around. There's a chance for a few of these storms. For the most part, though, they're going to stay to your east. Again, we do have a couple drifting in your direction. They're not really holding together all that well. So I am watching a couple of thunderstorms around Reddick and the Ocala area tonight. Let's dial up an Ocala cam and let's see if we can get a visual on those storms. Whoa, wait till you see this. This is really cool. This is awesome. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at this. Look at what's going on in Ocala right now. We're looking toward that storm to the north and west, where it says Sanford. I'm changing the title because we just moved cameras. Look at that, guys. You can see the whole rain shaft in the base of that thunderstorm there in the background. So you can see the heavy rain approaching the camera. The camera is literally located. Let me zoom in. It is located about right here, right on the west side of the town at the EOC. So it would be about right about there, give or take. And it's looking at that storm. I think I picked. No, it's looking at this storm. I picked the east camera. So it's looking at that one. So that's the visual that we have looking northeast from Marion County in Ocala. Really, really cool shot there of the thunderstorm across. All right, Big Vic 2 says power surges have begun. Let's see if we're having any kind of widespread power outages here. So we have a really cool product here on our radar that we can see the power outages as they come in. And there's a decent amount. We'll get the dabber out so we can check. 4,500 people without power in Orange County, 1,500 without power in, let me stop the loop on that, in Seminole, 1,000 in Volusia. Also, a few power outages, 400 customers in Flagler. So certainly nothing crazy, but obviously if you don't have power, it doesn't matter how many people don't have it. And 100 in Osceola County, it's a brutal time to, and again, just for perspective, that is hardly anything. That's 0.3% of less than a percent across the board. So again, we're not talking about widespread power outages, but there are a few with these storms coming in. Let me get back to the radar. Hey, Glorious Grace 98. Thank you a ton for being here and hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate it. Still some lightning in Ponce Inlet, watching this crazy looking storm north of Ocala or northeast of Ocala. Let's turn the lightning back on. Waterford Lakes and Avalon Park, strong storming, but don't see any hail yet. Any estimate of how long? Just got some hail, Lori, off of Lee Vista in the 417. Closer to Waterford Lakes. Let me see. Waterford Lakes, Avalon Park, strong storming. Don't see any hail yet. Big crack of thunder east of you in Silver Spring. It takes a second to get Silver Springs to pop up on the map. But this is what you're looking at. There's that clap of thunder that you heard. Now 2 of them. We have 2 bolts. 2 bolts. So that storm is intensifying just to the northeast of Ocala. And I wish I could turn the camera because we're losing that amazing visual. Hold on. Let's see if I have one in Fort McCoy. I have one in Salt Springs. I hope it's pointed in that direction. No, I don't have a camera in Salt Springs. This one is in Georgetown. It's looking, you can see, and this is why it's so cool to have different perspective here, because this is a little further away, but you can see that thunderstorm northeast of Ocala billowing in the distance there from Georgetown, Florida. Let me look at my interlocking cam. Now I'm just rapid firing through cameras. Hey, emergency responses, Florida. Let's see. It's raining on the east side already. So here's a good shot of St. Cloud, and it's so weird because like the west side of Lake Tahoe, you're good. The east side, you're getting pounded right now. It looks like it wants to kind of train up the East Coast sea breeze a little bit. So I don't know if it's going to push back to the west anymore. We might see some extra development on the outflow boundaries that start to develop with these storms. But man, it's crazy. Just how tight that is, like how precise. Same deal for you in Lake Nona. Depending upon where you're at, I mean, it's kind of splitting Lake Nona in half. Super heavy rain just to the east of Narcoossee Road, and then basically not a drop, just some lightning strikes. So it's crazy. right from Lake Nona into St. Cloud because of just how, holy cow, it's raining like crazy, thundering like crazy. And then just to the west, on the west side of St. Cloud, on the west side of Lake Nona, it's hardly doing anything. Top Pops 56. How bad is it in Oviedo? I think things are getting a little better, relatively speaking. We did have some hail involved. That severe thunderstorm warning does continue until 8 o'clock for Volusia, Seminole, and Orange County. It's a very long one tonight, just because we had all that stuff down. I don't think so. The hail tonight is pretty teeny. It's less than an inch. So the warnings that we shouldn't have any kind of damaging hail out there tonight. Hail is going to be a possibility, but I don't think it's going to be enough to cause damage. Lee Vista in the 417. I'm going to try to find you guys in this mess. I can't see the roads anymore. Much like if you're driving, you can't see the roads. Where am I at? We're in Seminole County. There's Azalea Park. There's Conway. And then the Lee Vista area, 417, definitely looking much better. Carol says Oviedo sounds like it right over us. It's right over us, but the hail has stopped thunder and lightning. And you are 1,000,000% correct on that. Airport's looking okay tonight, at least right now. Let me get back. Let's see. Let's take a look in Osceola County. Let's head back down to. Let's go to the north side of Lake Toho. It's not really pointed in that direction. Let's go to the west side of Lake Toho and see if we're looking across. Don't have a good vantage point, but this is on. This is in St. Cloud that I'm pulling up now. Starting to get like 4 million tabs open. Probably gonna crash the computer. All right, so that is now St. Cloud. Let me clear some of these. That's St. Cloud. All right, so the good news is it appears that the severe thunderstorm warning is going to be allowed to expire. They've now drawn this giant, what we call a special weather statement box, meaning that the storm is pretty strong, but it's not damaging or it's not reaching severe levels of 60-mile-per-hour winds or inch hail, quarter size hail is what you need for it to be a severe thunderstorm or produce a tornado, which we are not doing at this time. All right, got a live view from South Goldenrod area. If it's going to load, we're going to move that into the bottom box as those storms come through. This is going to be Goldenrod, and then up here we have St. Cloud. So the good news is, fresh at 8 o'clock, the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire. If anybody's in Sanford, are you If anybody's in Sanford, if you've seen any flooding and there's more heavy rain coming down the pipeline, we're going to be in the situation again where we're getting that heavy rain over the same areas. So in poor drainage areas, we could start to have an issue. You guys know the drill with that stuff there is we have more heavy rain moving through Winter Park, Pine Hills tonight, Lockhart, Apopka. We might get in on this next round. We at least have some thunderstorms now firing up around the Zellwood area. It's going to be around Sorrento in Lake County. Um, and then we have that beefy cell that we were watching kind of drift down. We'll likely see a special weather statement at least on this guy here as it kind of works its way and drifts south um, towards Bellevue, likely staying just to the east, or at least on the east side of town. Let's see. Sharon says it's just sitting over Lake Helen, no rain or very little continuous thunder and occasional lightning strikes. Yeah, just crazy tonight. Orange City, Lake Helen, there you go. And then meanwhile, we have this monstrosity going on currently for Oak Hill that's just arriving. We thought we gave you that 20-minute heads up in Oak Hill and Scottsmore about 20 minutes ago. And there you go. Let's take a look at the velocity. It has come down a little bit, which is a good thing. So just crazy. Alrighty, guys. Since we don't have the severe thunderstorm warning, but we still have some crazy weather going on, I'm going to be right here. I have to just get ready for the 9 o'clock show. So we have, if you're not familiar, on U6 Plus now, we have a new 90 minutes of different news in weather coverage. It's on News 6 Plus. It's also on the News 6 YouTube feed. But starting at 9 o'clock, Matt and Ginger are up with their kind of podcasty look called News 6 Tonight. They're going to talk about the more of a conversation with the news. I'll be making a short appearance there. And then at 9:30, we are up again for News 6 Weather live at 9:30. That's every Monday through Friday. We're going to talk about the storms that are likely still going to be ongoing here. And then we're going to talk about the tropics. There is a lot of buzz out there. The bark is worse than its bite. Okay, so we're going to be watching a couple of things, but the bark is worse than its bite. There's a lot of hype and garbage on social media right now with that stuff. So we're going to take a closer look at that coming up at 9:30 as well. And then we have News 6 at 10 o'clock streaming on News 6 Plus and on the News 6 YouTube page. So we have a lot of stuff that we're going to continue to track these storms with you guys. I just have to run real quick to get that show ready for 9 and 9:30, but I'm going to be sitting right here in this seat. I'm going to keep the looping radar, as you see right below me in the Brady Bunch box right here. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be here to answer them. I just have to get ready. So I'm going to step out for a quick second, but I'll be watching your comments. And then again, we're going to be live on the News 6 YouTube page and on News 6 Plus coming up at 9:30. But for now, I'm going to keep the loop on. I'll add some music if you guys want to. Keep the comments coming. Again, if you have the News 6 Weather app, submit any photos you have to pin it. If you don't have the News 6 Weather app, download that for free. Upload any weather pictures you may have. And again, you might be able to catch it on TV or on the live streams that we do when there is some bad weather. And we're likely going to be hanging out tomorrow at about this time. It looks like a pretty nasty sea breeze collision again, pretty much right where we're seeing the storms again tomorrow night as we're back in our typical pattern. So we're going to be doing all that. Again, I'll be here with you guys if it warrants. Hit me up on Facebook, Jonathan Kegges News 6. I'll let you guys know if we're going to be streaming, going into storm mode, as I like to call it, as we stream live with the boxes that you see right here with the live looks across Central Florida. Alrighty, guys, I have to run real quick. I'll be right here. Keep posting where you're tuning in from. Keep posting your questions, comments, and I'll catch you soon. Just want to hop on here to say this stream is going to come to an end. We're going to be back on here live though, 9:30 for our normal time frame that we hang out together. Monday through Fridays, 9:30 on the News 6 YouTube channel and on News 6 Plus. Matt and Ginger are up next. I'll make a brief appearance. We'll talk about this crazy rain, and of course, we'll break down some of the shenanigans going on in the tropics. Again, that is coming up at 9:30 in about 5 minutes though. Matt and Ginger are up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight, tracking these wild storms. We are going to break down what the radar looks like now, and we might be doing this again tomorrow. Again, that's coming up at 9:30 right here on the New 6 YouTube channel and on